Hi, so today I thought I'd go through all the classics that I hope to read this year. I've had these classics on my TBR shelf for over a year now, but some of them I just haven't picked up, either because I'm scared to read them or I'm not quite sure what they are about, because I basically ordered these just before I started YouTube. And I only ordered them because I knew they were classics and they were books you kind of have to read at least once in your life. So some of them I'm not too sure about actually reading now it's come to that. So I just want to go through these and hopefully get your opinions on them as well, just so that you can maybe put a bit of confidence in me for me to actually pick them up and maybe to sort out what order to do them as well. So these are in no particular order, they're just in whatever order they are in the pile next to me. The first one I'll mention is Peter Pan by Jane Barrie. So I've wanted to read this for quite a while because Peter Pan is one of those underrated Disney films, I think. Not many people really watch it, it's not majority of people's favourites. But I always find the story quite interesting, and I read Lost Boy by Christine Henry, which is a retelling of Peter Pan. Kind of like made me want to pick up the original and read this. I'm hoping it'll be really good. I mean, I've heard lots of good things about it. I'm hoping to definitely pick this up very soon. I also have War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Again, this is one of those books that I think I'd be quite interested in. I do want to read more sci-fi, and War of the Worlds seems to be the ultimate sci-fi. Well, not the ultimate, but like the classic sci-fi. I'm not really sure what it's about. I have seen the Tom Cruise film, and I know there is a War of the Worlds musical that I'm really interested in seeing. So I want to get this read and then maybe decide my thoughts on it. I mean, all I know is that it's about an alien invasion and that is it. I've also got Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I think everyone knows what Oliver Twist is about. The young orphan Oliver, and then he gets into this rabble of other orphans, and I forgot the name. Fagin, he's like the master, and then obviously you've got Nancy. All I know about it really is from the musical, which I haven't seen, but I love the songs. I also haven't seen the film either. The reason why I want to read it so that I can just find out more about the poverty in Victorian England, because that's one thing that I am really interested in. As you probably know, I do love my history, so reading a Charles Dickens novel I think is really important, so I do want to get this read. Hopefully it'll make me more interested in looking up more about Victorian England, because it's one era that I haven't really read about, so that'll be pretty cool. I've also got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I already mentioned this in one of my previous videos, saying I really want to read this year, basically because I don't know much about it apart from you've got Cathy and Heathcliff, and it's set on the moors, and it's meant to be a bit spooky, I believe, so that's why I'm really interested in it. Also, the Brontes, they are from Haworth and I live quite near Haworth, so I feel like I kind of need to read this, because I also have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I read like a dramatised version of this at school. I've no idea why it was the dramatised version and not the proper version. So I do want to get this read. All that I remember about this is that it's Jane Eyre, a governess, and she goes to a place and then it turns out there's a mad woman, it sets on fire, and that's all I really remember, mad woman being in the attic, and it turns out it's the guy's mother. Yeah, that's all I remember. All I know is that again this is meant to be quite spooky, quite gothic, and I do again want to get this read this year. So the last two books are both by Jane Austen, and it is Emma and Sense and Sensibility. Now I am worried about reading these because I read Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice, and I did not like Jane Austen's writing style at all. I found it quite boring, I didn't really get the humour. I prefer the dramatised versions of Pride and Prejudice to the book. So I am like totally nervous about reading these, just in case that these are the same as Pride and Prejudice. So I am going to have to force myself to read them, because I feel like I need to. You never know, I might end up liking one of these. That's all I can say, and again I'm not sure what they're about and a bit worried about picking them up. The classics that are on my TBR shelf that I need to read, and basically it's all the same. I'm nervous about picking up because I don't know if I like the writing style, because sometimes you do find that classics sometimes drag on and on a bit, so I am a bit nervous of that. If you can just like give me a bit of confidence reading these, like tell me a bit more what they're about, what you liked about them, because then that might make me pick them up a lot sooner. What classics are you hoping to read this year? Because they are a really important part of reading, I think, learning what people read in the past, because they can tell you lots of stuff. And as usual, you can like this video or subscribe to my channel, or all my social media links are below. So I will see you later with a new video. Bye!